Okay, so I'm not afraid to admit that this video really was not planned in advance. It's just something that I'm doing in the spur of the moment because I feel like uh, it's needed. But yeah, this is episode 3. It's in the title. I'm gonna talk about the rake. Um, I've lost my piece of paper that had my set of guidelines. Uh, so we're gonna have to do this very roughly. Unless I sit down here and take the time to write a new set of guidelines, which I guess I'll do real quick. But just give me a second here. Okay, so the intro. Uh, I guess we'll talk a little bit about the Rake himself. Uh, the Rake is a supernatural entity that, to this day, still has sightings. Um, sorry, I'm hungry. Back whenever, I forget when, but a really long time ago, there was, I believe he was a sailor. There was a sailor, like, this was back, like, I think either a little before or after America was discovered and by Christopher Columbus. And the sailor, he had dreams about the Rake, if I'm not mistaken, and the Rake told him to leave. So he did, and then there was a suicide note, I believe in the 60s, that was written in the 60s, and it was about this guy who said that he was having dreams about the Rake and that he was seeing the Rake, and that his eyes were so horrifying, and he said that the Rake was the reason why he was committing suicide. And so a little bit, the most famous one, which happened in 2006 or around that time period, was about this woman. She woke up in the middle of the night thinking that her husband, left the bed, so she took the sheets from his side and put it on her, and he woke up because he didn't get out of the bed, and she said, "Sorry, I thought you got out of the bed." And then she looked at the end of the bed, and there was the Rake sitting on the bed. At first she felt sorry for it and wondered if she should help it, because the Rake is known to come off as it gives off a feeling as if it's a hurt animal and like it needs help, is how people have described it. And let's see here what else happened. I'm trying to remember the story at the top of my head. It turned around, and the husband was the one that noticed it first. I'm sorry. It turned around and it crawled on the bed and stared her or the husband directly in the eyes, face to face, and then it bolted out of the room and into one of the children's room. And by the time that they got there, one of their little girls was killed. It was mauled, and the last words that she ever said was, "He is the Rake." And then the father took the other kid and that kid to the hospital, And on the way there, the car crashed. And the woman believes that it was the Rake's doing. And let's see here. So a little while afterwards, she started recording her house or her bedroom at night. Well, the audio of her bedroom at night, so that way, because she felt as if it would come back. And she heard a noise that she heard on the first night, but she didn't know that she heard it originally. Like, it's really confusing how it's described, but essentially a noise that she didn't remember hearing, that she didn't notice at first, but she remembered hearing later on, was heard in the recording, and apparently it was a voice. I forget what the voice said, if it did say anything, but yeah. And then so yeah, that's the intro. Some I guess some facts would be people are still coming out saying, you know, I saw this thing recently, or I saw this thing, you know, back in insert date here. And another interesting thing is that the Rake is known to, or at least thought to have, a connection to Slender Man. But before we get into all that, let's get into some more facts. Let's see here. Sorry, I'm just writing something down. There was... Now, I can only think of one news article at the top of my head, but I do know that there was a bunch more news articles about the Rake, but, there was a family down up in Canada or something. I forget the whole story, but there's a video that goes along with it too. They caught on camera something stalking a moose, and everyone's saying, hey, that looks like the Rake. You know? And then you have, then obviously there's a bunch of other YouTube sightings that have been coming out recently saying that they spotted the Rake. You know, some of them, like, I feel like a lot of them are legitimate for a few reasons. Because one, the creature looks the same in every single one of them. And reason number two, it makes the same sound in each one of them. It makes the same screeching scream sound in each one of them. So, you know, I feel like the consistency is something overlooked that needs to be looked at, you know? And, what else was there? I think that's all I got for now on facts. But yeah, back to the Slender Man thing. Some theories. We're going into the theory section here, but talking about the Slender Man one. There is a theory or a belief going around that the Rake is a proxy of Slender Man. Now, we'll get into proxies in another video, but basically, the gist of it is a proxy is a servant to Slender Man. You know, like the original definition of the word proxy means to do something in representation of someone else. So, you know, it's not like the computer proxy, you know. So yeah, they're essentially servants. And, I've been trying to figure out if, anywhere the Rake is sighted, if Slenderman's been sighted in the area, but I haven't really been able to find anything like that. But, if any of you have, please post, please, let me know where in the comments if you've been able to figure that out. So I feel like that's a really good way to find out for sure. And to also check Slenderman sightings, the areas of Slenderman sightings, and see if there's been any Rake sightings in the area. But, what else is there? What else is there? What else is there? The Rake does bear a striking resemblance to the Dover Demon. I'm not sure if they're the same thing, like there are some differing characteristics, but I will give it that they do look similar. I'll give you that, but only thing is the Dover Demon doesn't have a mouth and the Rake does. So trying to think here. This isn't going to be heavily edited, so I don't know if I'll put any pictures or anything, mostly because I've lost a lot of my pictures because I had to delete a lot of my images because it was making my PlayStation run slow. And I needed more space. What else is there? What else is there? Alright, now we're going to get into beliefs. These are mainly my beliefs, but, oh, another theory is, which I don't agree with, is that it's, the Rake is, a demon. Like, come on, people, really? Are we going to classify every single thing that we see that's unexplainable and supernatural and evil as a demon? Like, come on, people. We really need to start coming up with new terms, because, yeah, but, then obviously there's the Tulpa theory, yet again. I personally don't agree with it, but I used to, so I'm not going to really bash on it. And there's my theory, which I explained in the Slenderman video. Which, yes, I feel the Rake is. I feel like he does fit in that theory. But, what else is there? Okay. So that's theories. Now on to beliefs. Again, my belief is that he is a proxy. I do feel that way. And if you remember, yes, I did have a few sightings. I believe I mentioned that I had some sightings with the Rake. But yeah, we're getting close to my time limit here. We're 14 minutes and 18 seconds in, so let's get straight into the verdict and then we'll end the video. My verdict is, yes, he's real. There's a lot of evidence for it, but yeah, until next time, I suppose.